It was only it was exactly like 1 hour because I know you had to go for your practice. And for me in my head, I was like, what a proper date. It ended like exactly an hour. And
He thought I was there for networking purposes and to just get some food. I was like, are you kidding me?
legit. Like,
I mean, thank you for the meal, but like...
Let me ask you guys this too. Do you guys feel like a power couple?
I would say so. Yeah. Wait, where's that hesitation come from? I'm just kidding.
No.
Tell us how you really feel.
No. I
Just trying to be
express
humble.
myself through a lot of gestures. So I'm like, yeah, why not? Like, of course, we.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess for the audience who don't know, they are a couple. They are dating.
Yeah.
How long now?
Yes.
4 years now?
Oh,
5,
snap.
6,
7 years.
7 years,
Yeah.
Oh God.
So,
7 years.
yeah. I would say
Good
like,
years, though.
oh yeah, I would say like the power couple. It depends like what you define it as, but I would say yeah, just because like I feel like what this is gonna be all like lovey-dovey type of sounding, but
do
like,
it.
Lord. I'm just kidding.
Oh brother.
right.
This guy
Yeah, here we go again.
That's so funny.
I think the way I'd put it in short, if like not to get too deep, but like basically, like I all the jokes aside, right? I think like what I really appreciate in you is like you stand on your own 2 feet, or like you have the, what do you call this? Like the willpower or wanting or desire to do. Like in economics, demand is like the willingness and ability to do the next step. So it's like some people can be willing, but maybe they don't have the ability. Some people are able to, but they just don't want to. So the demand, like, it sounds super like financial, but like honestly, like where I come in is like, even if you don't, like if you're not able to or whatever, like your metric of like, I'm not able to do X, like I don't care if you fail or succeed. It's like I'm there to support you regardless, like in my head, you know what I'm saying? And I know like you have the same wishes for me. So it's like, I think what's cool is like the whole 1 + 1 = 3 synergy stuff. So it's like I'm like good on my own, she's great on her own, and together it's like even better. So hence power couple, you know?
Yeah, how do we support each other in each other's life? Like, because he's his own person, I am my own person. We both have our own like desires that we share together, and being able to respect that, like, hey, yeah, he just has certain personality traits that I may not have, but then we complement each other well, like the whole yin and the yang and the balance and the feminine plus the masculine. So yeah, like for me, like I'm able to like have these, like both of us, like all these thoughts and ideas. I'm like, whoa, this can happen, this and that. And then he's more of like the grounding type, where he's like, all right, so how do we make it happen? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Like I know how to, but to bring it into the physical world, I think that's what he also helps me with. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true. And I think like the inverse is true too, because like I identify, like I'm very optimistic. I'm not pessimistic, but I'm like, let's say 25% realistic, 75% optimistic, which has its ups and downs. And I think that because of the reality of the reality I'm facing, it's like seeing the inverse, where it's like, instead of looking at that whole cup half full half empty thing, it's kind of like, hey, there's another perspective that Sabrina gives me, that I'm like, if you're in a male dominant field or like a female dominant field, like there's some stereotypes that like kind of go on, or like what is success or this and that. And so I think it's always good for that inverse to happen. Like I can keep things grounded, but also when it's too grounded, it's like you need more like uplifting kind of energy to be like, nah man, like there's a better outlook basically.
Yeah, it's kind of like, oh, why are we doing this if this is not fun? Like we're here to play, we're here to have fun, we're here to have a good time. And then see, look, he's like, yeah, okay, but once things are taken care of first. But I'm like, but then it's important. Yeah, no, we're just
That's exactly that.
Because I've seen you guys interact, like, and that's something that I do admire about you guys, like working together as well. Like you guys are both like still very much your own, like you guys have your own independent personalities, but you guys also work very well. Like your chemistry together is also very good.
Oh, thank you.
And you guys like are both like running your own businesses, and also like doing life together with each other. Like it's very commendable, I'll say that.
Thank you.
I really admire that about you guys.
Appreciate
Thanks.
Which I was also curious about as well. Like, how do you guys find that balance of like focusing on your personal lives and like running your YouTube channel, running your business, and
Yeah.
also like making time for a relationship and
Yeah.
like just making sure you guys are like taken care of like between you two.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like in relationships, like, you know, whether it's us or anybody, you just become like so intertwined sometimes where it's like always want to, I mean, we love being together, always want to do everything together, but then there's also time that we recognize we also have to carve out for ourselves. So we, you know, like in the car, we were chatting like, hey, yeah, I don't want to come off as harsh, but I do need this time alone to zone in and dial down on my thing. And I'm like, oh, yeah, no, same, me too. So I think it's like leaving enough like breathing room to do things on our own, but also come back to each other. And also, like how you said, with friendships or relationships, it takes time and effort to build. It's not just going to like happen because we've been together for a long time. You know, things could like phase out if not. So I think we're also in the process of like carving out more time to do new things together, like explore together, travel together, you know, having like different conversations and stuff like that, meeting new folks, making new friendships outside of like us two in our own world sort of thing. So I think that's how we kind of create that balance when we recognize like, oh, are we being like more codependent on each other, or are we still independent but just being, you know,
Right.
together and stuff?
Yeah.
But we're able to lean on each other, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, for sure. I'll give some historical context first, and then I'll break it down. I think I also like before we met each other. I think I didn't, you know, like when you have relationships or like anybody, you know, literally
Yeah.
like you just don't know what you don't know at the time. So I didn't realize your boy was, you know, kind of coming off clingy before me and Sabrina met. I didn't really, I was just like, oh, if people are together, they always want to spend time with each other. But like, I didn't realize that was not the case, you know, in general. But obviously when you learn those lessons and you realize what is what, and, you know, you can learn more about yourself and all the future things, you know. I say this because in the beginning, it's like, I think I had this barrier of like, you know, when we started dating, it's kind of like, I want to spend time with you, but maybe it's a turnoff if I want to spend more time with you. So then I wouldn't not want to spend. We would spend so much time together anyways, right? But then I would always fear in my mind like, oh, is it too much or something like this.
Oh yeah.
But like we've been aligned since,
yeah.
you know,
Like literally after the first date, we didn't stop seeing each other. Like
5 days in a row.
yeah,
Oh, wow,
like it was
okay.
crazy. Cause like
Dang.
I mean, you know, every relationship has different wants or needs. Like maybe
Yeah,
some
yeah.
people they can go like once a month, like every day they would want to see each other, or maybe like I could just see you once a week or once a month sort of stuff. So it just all depends on like the dynamic of the relationship, and we just like go together well. And I'm like, yeah, you're my bestie, and he's like, yes I am. Hey bestie, where you at? So it's so playful. And then like, you know, what's crazy is that I never understood how like, oh, if you like somebody, you like not bully them, but like you kind of, you know,
Little teasing or
tattletale
whatever,
them,
yeah, yeah.
things like that. But I never really did that with like any guy like that. It's more like, oh yeah, sweet, not really tattletale, maybe like a little bit. But then with him, it's like full blown like like ripping on him, and so I'm
Just
like, wow, I
roast him.
understand it. Yeah, I was like, this is nice. Oh man.
Yeah, I would say that because we love to spend time with each other, and even more the merrier type of deal. And I would say that the balance, kind of what I was saying earlier, is like, hey, there's like if you just carve out time where it's like there's no expectation of this time we're spending together, let's just have a good time, let's have fun. I think for me at least I justify it in that way, where all the other things, there's maybe like this is obviously a fun time, but like maybe other things I do in my life, like from a percentage, I look at my day to day as like a pie, or my week to week or month. It sounds very like corporate-y, but it's like what percentage of my day, like Pareto's law, the 80-20 rule, is like usually it's like 80% of the output is done by 20% of the results. Or if someone's having a bad day, it's like 20% of your day's events, like traffic was bad and something happened, and 80% of your day is like, oh, my life sucks, you know. But it's because of that small 1, 2, 3 events that happen, like, oh, there's pollen, I'm allergic, and whatever, like stupid stuff like this, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is that it's like when we're together, it's such a great time anyways. So because it's almost like someone like me, at least, like I have a tough time turning off, I guess. So like your fishing is like me and Sabrina are chilling, like it's going through the strides of like, although we could do business together and do even those type of things like more together, like from a power couple, from like that type of perspective, it's also like we could just nod and we could just chill.
Yeah.
But then when we're doing our thing, and when we're together, it's like, hell yeah, let's go. Like, just have a great time. So I
Yeah.
think it's like a balance in a different way where we're not, I don't think we would call it like we're not, I don't think we're like struggling to, we're struggling only to want to spend more time together, which is a great problem to have, but we're not doing it at like the expense of like, you know, like right now I'm working kind of many hours on my corporate job and also then the channel with YouTube, and it's like, you know, I'm sleeping 3-4 hours on certain days, but then I need to sleep 8-9 hours, or so I'm getting older, you know, I can't do it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that type of thing, right?
I
So-
understand completely.
Exactly.
I get it, man.
Yeah, man.
I get it.
So, and then it's like being present, you know?
Yeah,
and
instead
everything.
of forcing to figure things out, like every time we come together, like how do we make this happen? Da-da-da-da. But then it's like, how do we come together? But then if you like just take a step back and you're like, wait, we're literally together right now. Like, you know, it's like, why aren't we enjoying this moment we have right now together? So I think just bringing back to the present, like appreciating the time we are in, where we are right now, and things like that. Yeah.
What was y'all's first date? Am I allowed to ask that?
Yeah, of course.
Yes, yeah. If you don't want to share, you
Boy,
don't
we
have
on
to.
your podcast. You ask us anything.
This is your fun land,
Yeah, yeah.
man.
Right.
Well, I also love origin stories, remember? So I
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
know. I want to know.
Yeah. So how we met was on a dating app called Coffee Meets Bagel. Why are you laughing? Okay, so anywho, we met on a dating app called Coffee Meets Bagel, and I just downloaded because I saw my friend using it with no intention of like really even trying to date anybody. And I was like, oh, okay, you know, you download the app, the first thing it asks is like, what's your name? Add in a profile picture, fill in your bio. I'm like, yeah, for me, I don't like to leave my profiles empty with like most social media apps. I'm just naturally going to fill it in. So it'll be like, oh, what's your favorite activity you like to do, and things like that. And so I just leave it alone. And then, you know, I got matched with him. And from there, our first date was Raku Ramen in like Duluth, Georgia.
yeah.
So we just had some ramen, had a good time. I showed up in like super casual clothing, and he was coming to meet me after work. So he's like a little bit more proper. And I was like, oh yeah, what a good date. And it's funny because he like beatboxed for me at the end, and I didn't expect that, but he did it because he's like, oh, when am I ever gonna see this girl again? And so I went to my dance class and stuff, and later I was like, oh yeah, like he's really nice, like I want to see him again. So then I added him on Facebook. You know, when friend request, when you see that little, one request with a friend.
So the beatboxing
yeah,
worked.
and I was like, oh, okay, like how do I see him again and stuff. So, yeah.
I need
That's
to teach
my
me how
version.
to beatbox.
Huh?
I need to take some lessons from you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man.
I'm struggling out there in these streets, man.
Yo, you should rap and then he should beatbox.
Oh.
Yo, that'd be
Whoa.
crazy.
Dude.
Damn.
But yeah, no, I mean, that's exactly how we met. Can I add some more details?
Yeah.
It was my like first real date in my life, you could say, where it's not like a friend of a friend. Like I did not know you at all,
Same.
basically, right? Like
Yeah.
the dating apps back then, it's like I don't know how it is now, but back then it's like
No background history, no connection.
yeah, it's not like, you know, you have 5 mutual friends like on Facebook. It's not like that. It's like I'm meeting a stranger, you know, and I'm like, all right, you know, cool. And it worked out. We matched, and I was nervous, dude. I was so nervous because I'm so social. But then I was like, in this context, it was like you're meeting a stranger for these purposes, you know, like dating purposes, which was like a new purpose in my life.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember, I don't know if you remember this, I don't know if you were tracking, I drank like 6-7 cups of water.
Oh, yeah,
in
you
front
did
of
drink a lot of water.
Yeah.
That's funny.
No,
Yep,
legit,
yep.
My mouth was getting dry multiple times. It was only it was exactly like 1 hour because I know you had to go for your practice. And for me in my head, I was like, what a proper date. It ended like exactly an hour. And
He thought I was there for networking purposes and to just get some food. I was like, are you kidding me?
legit. Like,
I
you know,
mean, thank you for the meal, but like,
yeah, like I think my mindset around it was not like, whatever it was just like, it was almost like I got there and I was like, wait, why am I here? Kind of deal, you know?
Yeah.
Even though like I wanted to meet you and everything.
It was
Obviously.
not that serious, which was the great thing about it. It wasn't like, oh my god, I'm on a date. It's like, oh yeah, like I mean, I'm on a date with you, but it's like, oh yeah, let's just get to know each other, sort of thing.
I think, and that's the lens she came from, and which is awesome. And for me, I was very much like, I don't even know what the next step is here, and like I'm not like an academic where I need to know the whole path, but like because I've carved my own path many times. But in that moment, I didn't know like I was just talking to your head off about like some credit cards and like just like stuff, you know, like what I mean. So like it was a great, like obviously it worked out more than well, right? But I just want to share like how maybe it's like a takeaway for, you know, there's this podcast I was listening to. Do you know Diary of a CEO by chance?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So there was a recent episode where like I guess she works at Hinge, but she's like a dating coach or something. She was like, a rule is like instead of the first date not taking that second date, it's like always take a second date, because the first impression, it's not like, oh, the first impression is lasting impression. It's like, yeah, it's lasting, but like the next step could also be that inverse of a deal breaker where like you could just go the full mile, you know. So I applaud you heavily, because if she didn't send that Facebook friend request, like I literally would not know how to engage. I was still living in the old school, don't contact them for 72 hours after the first date. You know? like that's all I knew. Yeah, I had no other guidance, nothing, right?
Yeah.
So I think there is like a back and forth, which if you didn't reach out, it's not you that it wouldn't have worked out. It's like it was all me, because I just literally would not know how to take it.
Yeah.
So like, and then obviously the second date was like, I think we met on Georgia Tech's campus to Sublime Donuts because I was coming off of work and you were in the area.
Oh yeah.
And then like third, fourth, I forget the order, but eventually went to this Georgia State Fair where monkeys were racing on dogs.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's so funny.
That sounds awesome.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. And I think rest is kind of, you know, history. You can say from
Yeah,
there.
literally.
Dang.
That's how we met.
That's crazy. That's awesome, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
7 years later.
Yeah, legit.
Crazy. Man.
Oh, all right. I think we're about probably wrapping up on time right now.
Okay.
Okay.
But to wrap things up, usually we have a closing tradition on this podcast where we'll share a quick life lesson or words of wisdom from the guest. Do you guys have any life lessons you'd like to share with me or the audience that you think is an important thing to impart?
I would say follow your heart, follow your gut, your instinct, and if you don't agree with, like, let's say like a phrase or some part of the reality, you don't have to choose it. Literally, it does not exist in your reality. Like literally, you don't have to claim that energy. So claim what is yours and just go
You can
all
rebel.
in. Yeah, you could rebel. But no, I was listening to an interview with Jenny, like from Blackpink, and they were asking her, like, how did you feel about XYZ? And she's like, oh, I don't have self-doubt because, like, it just doesn't exist for me. I'm like, dang. Like, you know, like,
Okay, yeah.
if you can claim that, like, oh, let's say I am not shy, right? It may feel kind of weird first, but that's not in my vocabulary, then I'm just not shy. You know, stuff like that. So I think you can always redefine like your life into the way you want it to be. So don't be afraid to challenge the notion or any notions. That's my wisdom.
This part maybe you cut out because I'm forgetting what it was. What was the thing that I asked you about, like why not or something? Like you asked me.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
why
I
are you
was like,
scared or, you know?
We were going to like a place with a lot of people, and I was like, whew, like I'm feeling kind of like anxious right now. And I was like, do you get social anxiety? And he's like, yeah, why not? And I'm like, what do you mean why not? Like you can choose to or not choose to. And I was like, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's all good.
So then, yeah, this is what it is. I would say that if you're scared or not scared, whatever you're feeling, just do it, right? It sounds like Nike, just do it. But it's like, what do you have to lose? Like, if you really think about what do you have to lose, I'm not telling us to go jump off a cliff. I'm saying if you're scared about talking, public speaking, if you're, you know, should I do this risky investment, right? But like, as long as you have like controls where like, you know, you're not hurting anybody, like from a human perspective, you know, I got great advice where, hey, you can do anything you want in this world. but it's in your best interest to not do something where you always have to constantly look over your shoulder. So, if you're doing illicit activities or otherwise, you probably are like, oh, you're scared for your life, but maybe it becomes your family's life, right? Like in the all the movies, and like what happens, right? If you're like, oh, they're gonna be kidnapped, So what I'm really saying is, as long as you're good with what you're doing, like you're good with yourself, if you're only answerable to yourself and you're not hurting others, then everyone's like fine around you. So what is there to lose if like money's not real, if nothing is real, but also everything is real? But again, no one's getting hurt. Then if you're doubting yourself, it's like, just do it. Like, you can still doubt yourself, but just do it, right? It's like, I'm scared, but I'm still going to do it. And you come out stronger. You come out with a lesson learned. You come out with one more XP point, right? Experience point. And you just keep on going because like, it's more fun to me to do than not to do, where I cannot live with myself. And maybe, hopefully you too, right? When you're 80, 90, we'll remember those things of like, oh, we didn't do that versus like all the things we did. So why live with regret when you can just do,
Yeah.
So just do, that's basically what I'm saying.
Don't be afraid to express yourself, live at your highest expression, and so you can live a fulfilling life. So be yourself. Don't be shy. Come on out.
Literally.
Yeah. Which I also appreciate that about you both too. Like, you're just not afraid to like express yourself. Like, if you say like, yo man, I appreciate you, or like, oh, let's say like, I'm sad, then you can also share that with us. Like, it's okay to, fully embody those like emotions, like feel it, and then be like, yeah, this is just, the human experience.
Yeah. I think to piggyback on that, am I allowed to? Like,
Yeah. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Please
like,
be my guest.
Yeah. Literally. Yeah, I would say like, as they say in physics, like energy is not created, it's only transferred. So if you have like bad energy to spread around, like just don't, like you'll figure it out, like whatever that is, right? But if it's good energy and you spread it, don't do it for selfish reasonings, because then it comes off as bad energy, if that makes sense. Where it's like, giving compliments to everyone is a great thing, but if it's because you want them to re-compliment you back, it's like, that's not how this works, brother. Or like, ideally not, you know what I mean? So I say that because I think in my youth, I was like a people pleaser, always, trying to be validated by those around me. And I think that came from just going to like 13 schools in like my first 12 years of schooling. So I always needed to get the buy-in from those around me that like, oh, I'm like normal, or I'm cool, or I'm okay, or something like this. And I explained that because in the end, like if you're good with yourself, and because again, like this is a very niche thing, but like credit cards, points and miles, and having the opportunity to travel the world and see other cultures and other places, it's like, dude, we're all human. We just speak different languages and the cultures are a little different, but like there's 8 billion people in this planet. Like you will be accepted by at least one other person, hopefully, right? Like just from a probability standpoint. So if that's the case, you don't need to go find your soulmate or not. Like that's like a different subject. But there is somebody that, F's with you, that thinks like, he's a good guy, cool guy. And like, that's all it is. So like, and you don't even need that validation if you give it to yourself. Like that's indirectly I'm saying having confidence in yourself is the biggest life wisdom I can give, because once you have that thing, then you are your own shield. But you don't need to like be like, I have a shield on and no one can hurt me. It's you're good to go. There's nothing there. Wow. You can be fully exposed and you're still never hurt, because you can fall and you have the confidence to come back up. Because when I was at the lowest point in my life, my realization was I was at rock bottom in my head, and I was like, wait, I'm here. I can't go any down any further.
Yeah.
So the only way is where? It's up.
Yeah.
And from there, my life has been like, who cares, man? Like, oh, rock bottom, I have no time to waste at this bottom. I have to just keep going, because just keep going. Just do it. So, yeah.
I agree. It's like learning to self-validate yourself is so important, right? Not seeking out other people's validation, but telling yourself like, yeah, I am doing a good job. Heck yeah. And like just the energy conversation, like energy is either absorbed or transformed. So it's like, we absorb each other's energy, like the good high vibe energy. But if you don't like, let's say some energy where you're like feeling kind of down, then you're like, nah, man, I'm going to transform it to something else. thing.
We ain't got no time to waste, man. Being all inner. I mean, there's ups and downs, but like there's
Yeah.
a limit of like why, after a certain point.
Yeah.
So gentle reminder to, you know how it is.
Yeah.
I like how you guys like jumped back and forth between like you two and like I'm piggyback off that and I'm gonna say some
Yeah.
more and I'm gonna say some more too.
Yes.
But it works though. It works.
Yeah.
I love it.
How about you, Joe?
love it.
What is
Yeah.
your wisdom you want to share with us today?
Me? Oh man, my wisdom. I would have to say, yeah, I'm gonna piggyback off what you guys.
Go for
Yeah,
it.
no, please.
Yeah, be yourself. Be yourself. And this is, I know, I'm beating a dead horse here because you guys have said all the major points, but I've heard from somebody recently, actually, we were having a conversation, and she told me, just be yourself, because the coolest thing that can happen is somebody falls in love for who you are.
Aww,
So I was like,
so
that's very
sweet.
profound, but that makes a lot of sense.
Wow.
So it's like, yeah, you don't have to act like somebody else. You be
Yeah.
yourself, and if somebody likes you for who you're being, that's amazing,
That's so true.
right?
Yeah.
I love that.
I love that.
Aw.
All right, well, that's all the time we have for today. I appreciate you guys coming on. This was so much fun.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to do this again sometime.
Yes.
But yeah, thank you
Hey.
guys, and I will see you guys on another episode of Joe's Funland. Peace.
All right.
Peace.
See you.
That's a wrap.
Yo.
we did it.
Great job,
Great
y'all.
work.
Good talk. Hey.